I don't know about you, but I didn't have a brand new Zelda game on my bingo card for this June Nintendo Direct. Lo and behold though, we actually got one. And not just any game, the first original top-down or 2D title, whatever you want to call it, since Triforce Heroes, and the first ever game to revolve entirely around Princess Zelda. Not counting whatever this is. So yeah, it's a sharp departure from what we're used to from the series, which begs the question, is Echoes of Wisdom a sign of what's to come? A new standard for what to expect from Zelda going forward? Or is this a one-off, a little experiment in between AAA titles? Let's take a closer look. We're gonna start with the big headline of the game, how could we not? Princess Zelda is this game's main character. It's a huge moment for the series, one fans have been waiting for years. But I don't believe for 1 second that this timing is a coincidence. A clear pattern has been emerging during the reign of the Switch, of Nintendo opening their eyes more and more for an underserved part of the gaming public, women and girls. 2024 was kicked off by Princess Peach Showtime and will be ended by Echoes of Wisdom, both games that are unique in their series by putting their leading ladies in a rare main character role. Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining about this at all, I very much support it. I'm bringing it up because it can affect the future of the Zelda series. Nintendo games with female protagonists are still surprisingly rare, so if they see this as a golden opportunity to basically turn top-down Zelda into one, I feel they might take it. Let's be honest here, the 2D sub-series has never had a true identity to call its own. It didn't really need it, it was essentially a Zelda game like any other, just presented in a different way. But nowadays, there's quite a big difference between mainline open-world Zelda and top-down linear Zelda. The gap has never been bigger. So I could definitely understand if Nintendo wanted to separate the two a little, and what better way to do that than by having different main characters. And if that also helps tap into the only growing market share that is female gamers, it might be the perfect double whammy in the eyes of Nintendo. If so, this may be Zelda's first starring role, but definitely not her last. That said, she plays significantly different compared to Link, so fully committing to her might also not be something they're looking to do. Eiji Aonuma did explain in the trailer that this was intentional, so I doubt they'll be interested in making Zelda swing a sword around like she's Link in any future titles. Then again, perhaps this could also lead to the return of Sheik somewhere down the road. That'd be really cool. Next, I want to discuss the art style, which is of course identical to the remake of Link's Awakening. This was the first initial surprise of the trailer for me. I never had any doubts we were gonna see this art style again, but I fully expected it for a remake of the Oracle games or maybe the later Capcom titles. I applaud it being used for a new title. Just see my ranking of Zelda art styles for how much I appreciate it, but I definitely didn't see it coming. New game, new coat of paint, I imagined, but apparently not. Anyway, doing something once is an experiment, doing it twice is a pattern. So, is this the new look of top-down Zelda going forward? It's impossible to say for certain, of course, but there are some solid pointers it very well may be. First is the developer, which is currently unknown, but judging by the art style, you'd think Grezzo is behind it, with guidance from Eiji Aonuma of course. They were also the developers of Link's Awakening for Switch after all, and prior to that, also handled the 3DS remakes for Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. They also co-developed Triforce Heroes along with Nintendo Entertainment Planning and Development, and I'm willing to bet they will combine forces again for Echoes of Wisdom. If that's true, Grezzo will be on a free game streak of top-down Zelda games, which I would consider enough to call them the designated studio for it. And that of course then also means that top-down Zelda is no longer solely developed by Nintendo in-house, who had been responsible for it up until A Link Between Worlds. Considering how much time, effort and manpower it costs to produce the big mainline Zelda titles now, it's completely understandable that they will get outside help for the top-down titles, but it's still indicative of a new standard for this side of the series. And on the Switch at least, Grezzo has been synonymous with this chibi diorama look. And while this will of course not be exactly the look of top-down Zelda for the next decade or more, I do think this is gonna be the main appearance of the sub-series going forward. And the reason for that is simple. It works really well. Top-down games like this are not easy to make appealing on a big TV screen. There's a reason almost every series that used to be chibi and sprite-based, like Pokemon and Fire Emblem, have ditched that style now that all games are playable on big screens. While there is of course a group that really digs this, I can definitely appreciate a good HD 2D game myself as well. Generally speaking, mainstream consumers want 3D. And that is Zelda's customer base after all. This is not some niche indie game. So, now that Grezzo has succeeded at creating an art style that is both appealing and suits a top-down game, I really feel like we will be seeing this art style or an evolution of it for a good while to come. onto the actual mechanics of Echoes of Wisdom, where the title already gives away the game's main focus. Echoes. With the help of the Lil Fairy Tri, Zelda can create copies of all kinds of objects and creatures to take along with her, pulling them out again whenever she sees fit. From the moment I saw it, this mechanic reminded me a ton of Ultra Hand from Tears of the Kingdom in the way it repurposes normal items from the world into opportunities to solve puzzles. In fact, the comment from Aonuma about him being unsure about the exact numbers of echoes is very reminiscent of what he previously said about Tears of the Kingdom and that game's abilities. And while he has already made clear Ultra Hand won't return in future installments, the same design philosophy is abundantly present in Echoes of Wisdom. Just this shot of Zelda crossing treacherous waters using bed on top of bed oozes Tears of the Kingdom energy. It's the same makeshift puzzle solving. As Aonuma describes it, it means everyone plays the game in their own way, which definitely sounds like they purposefully injected some of the appeal of open world games into this title. And that makes perfect sense. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are the series' best-selling games by a landslide. There are millions of people whose only experience with Zelda is these two games. To make a top-down game that would make them think, this is just like the previous Zelda game, makes perfect sense. But it does come with its implications about the state and future of the series. After all, this is now the third title in a row that has this design philosophy, with a great focus on freedom and each player being able to build their own journey. And if twice is already a pattern, thrice even more so. As such, I think we need to realize that this design philosophy appears to be an intricate part of the new Zelda DNA. Whether this is Nintendo's idea or simply Aonuma's vision is hard to say, but either way, I don't think it can be overlooked anymore. Personally, I am fully in favor of this. I love the freedom the open world titles gave you, and Echoes of Wisdom looks to be right up my alley. But I am fully aware of the part of the fanbase that misses the days of more linearity, dungeons and more intriguing stories. I'm afraid my conclusions may not exactly be a beacon of hope, but it's not all bad either. After all, from what we've seen of the game so far, Echoes of Wisdom does appear to feature dungeons, puzzles and all that more classic Zelda stuff, now just supported by the seemingly endless opportunities of the open world titles. Who knows, perhaps if this blend proves successful, we may see something similar for the next big Zelda title on Switch 2 as well. Breath of the Wild started with a 2D top-down prototype after all. The two sub-series will always be bound together, especially as long as Aonuma continues to oversee them both. But hey, that's just what my crystal ball was telling me. How do you see the future of the Zelda series, and do you think Echoes of Wisdom is indicative of what's to come? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel to stay updated on all my future Zelda content. For now, thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.